think I expect myself to like show up in different ways, especially when I'm recording. I feel like when I'm not recording, all these thoughts flow into my head and everything comes out. And it's almost like I'm talking to somebody, but I'm not. And when I'm on camera, it's like brain freeze. And throughout this channel, you will see me um, having moments of just like deep thought or not making sense, but that's okay. I'm learning right now that I just need to take a step back from a lot of things and figure out like what I want out of life and what I want to do and who I want to do that with. I always ignore signs for some reason and it backfires on me a lot. And if you're a person that does that, we gotta learn not to do that. It can be hard because that's something that you're comfortable with of just ignoring things and kind of pushing through. But in the long run, you end up suffering. And I'm learning that for sure. In this generation that we're in, and I guess in this time right now, not even generation, but like, being with somebody and learning who you are and learning who they are can be a lot. I'm 27 years old and for some reason I'm like, oh my gosh, like time is ticking. Will I be a mother? Will I have kids? And I will have those things. And it's so important, ladies, that you really hone in to like what you want out of life. And I think that comes with just like being by yourself. Not for an extended long time because that becomes something a little bit troublesome. Um, but take time to yourself to figure out who you are. And when people hear the word like isolation, they think, oh, like you're depressed or something. I think isolation doesn't equate to depression. It can, like I said, but sometimes just needing time to yourself can really, what's the word? Empower you to understand who you are and what you will not tolerate, what you will tolerate, right? When we're growing up, we see things like, oh, if you're 30 and you're not married or you don't have kids, like no one will want you. And that is honestly not true. Or when you're with somebody and you think like, oh, if they're being horrible to me, but this might be my last time, it's not, and it won't be. And maybe it will. Who knows? We can't predict the future, and I wish I could for sure, but I can't, right? If someone is being not the person you want them to be, we can't control people, right? I can't control people. Whoever's watching this, you can control them. Um, I can't control you what to do next, at all. All I can do is give you advice. And I think we have to learn that, like, hey, if someone, whether it's a friend, whether that's a romantic partner, you can't control nobody, but you can control um how they what's the word? How they come across you or how they respect you. If they're not respecting you in any way, it's obviously a sign. And again, when you get older, again, you tend to kind of freak out like, oh, am I going to meet this person? I want kids, but like, will I have kids? Um, I want to be married, but will I be married again if I leave this person? Like, you will. And I think too, just like finding yourself, like, even if like, this person, again, whether be friends or a romantic relationship, you will find those people for you. You will find that person for you. I don't think no woman should ever suffer, and including a man too, right? Um, but speaking as a woman, as myself, I don't think no woman should suffer because they're scared of being in this world like by themselves. And that's why I'm like, when you take time to yourself and not isolation, there's nothing wrong with it. But when you just kind of like take time to yourself just to kind of be alone and have these thinking process. Because I think too, we're in a world right now, or a society, I should say, where like everything is digital. Me talking on this phone, me going on TikTok, me going on my laptop, like everything you see, you're swiping. you compare yourself to the next person, there's never no downtime. You're never bored. And when I used to think like back in the day, like when I was bored, I just went outside and I played, or I listened to music, or I was on YouTube. I mean, I had YouTube still back then, but it wasn't. I didn't have it in the palm of my hands, where I can just push on the app and there it is. I had to go to a computer and like look up songs and remember. So it's so easy to conform our minds to being like, oh, this isn't enough, or I'm not doing enough. And it's like, no, like, how about you just sit down, get a journal out, get anything out. If you're artsy, get something, or even go for a walk and just like think about certain things, or just sit in silence. I think that's the scariest part too, is sitting in silence. And I know for sure for me it is because I'm so used to like grabbing my phone. If I'm bored, I'll grab my phone. I'll grab my iPad. I'll do something because I don't want to deal with the consequences, of being like, dang, like I gotta work on that. Or, I'll journal sometimes, but even after I'm journaling, I'm like, I'm still thinking. And then I'm like, I don't want to think no more because this is too much. And so I just grab whatever is close to me, and start scrolling. You have to understand like when you're figuring yourself out, sometimes you have to back away from people to really get a grasp of who you are. And not for a long time, but until you're ready. And that could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. And then you're like, you know what, here I am. But like, it's really crucial for you to do that. And including myself, I'm in this weird phase right now where I'm like, oh, um, I don't want to be alone, but I do at the same time. But I don't want to be alone because I'm nervous of being by myself. I'm nervous of being bored. I'm nervous of not having anything around me. Like what kind of thoughts will come across? What can I do? And it's simple to like get ideas from like the internet, like go to a pottery class or um go to the movies by yourself. But were those your thoughts to begin with, or were those, or oh my goodness, or were they somebody else's? Because I think to myself, like, what do I really like to do? Like, yeah, I can go out to eat by myself. Yeah, I can go to the movies by myself. Yeah, I can go to a pottery class by myself. But are these things I really want to do? Or are they things that are like, or are they ideas that I'm like, oh, this is actually like pretty cool. They did it. I can do it. Let me try it out. So I just try it. Do I really want to do something like that? You know what I mean? I'm not sure this is making sense, but like that's how I see it. That just like dinged in my head. I was like, oh, like those are really good ideas, but would those ideas be in my head if it wasn't for social media? Would it be something that I'm like, oh, I want to do that without social media? So you got to ask yourself that, because I think too, like, there's nothing wrong with having ideas or like seeing people do something, but like, is that truly what you want to do? And this is where I go back to being like, you have to figure yourself out and know what you want. It doesn't matter if someone is, one of your friends is like engaged or married and having kids. Like, do you want that for yourself, or you just want that because they have that too? Sit down with yourself. Do I really want kids, or am I not sure yet and I still want to travel the world and I still want to like have fun? I personally want kids. I personally want to be married. But thinking to myself all this time, I'm like, I really want to be married. I do. With kids, because I'm still in school, because I haven't traveled. I mean, I've traveled, but like not to the places I want to travel, right? I still want to experience those things, and having a kid can put a delay in some of that. That's why it's good to have a community, but that's a different story. Anywho, but like, you have to think about things like that. So I guess the basis of the the basis of this video is like, really just sit down with yourself and ask yourself, like, what do you want? Take time to yourself. Take months, not even months, like weeks. I mean, it can be a month, whatever, however long, honestly, it is, and that you want to really figure yourself out, because you know we can always be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, or I wish I could have had more time. But like, time is never going to stand still for nobody. And I think it's a scary thing. And again, I seen this video when she was like, if you're not a mom, like, what are you going to do? Or like, for the women who don't want to be a mother, pretty much talking about like self identity. And I think that like goes like hand in hand too. It's like you, that's why I said you have to figure like who you are as a person. Do you want kids? Do you want marriage? Like, no matter what happens, no matter if you want that or not, it's your life, you know? Um, when kids come and play, it's that's a big responsibility. And having a significant other and being married to them, that is another one. You know, you taking care of somebody, you know, whether it's a man or whether it's a woman, like it doesn't matter. Like you're not just thinking for yourself again, you're thinking for also the other person as well too. So yeah, that was just like the basis like of this video. It's just like figure out what you really want in life. And it won't be easy. It won't. It won't be something like you are willing to do, you know. But if you haven't sat down with yourself in the minutes and you're in this phase, I should say, because again, this video won't apply to everybody, right? Some people are like, I know what I want in life, and I want this and other, you know, yada yada yada. But some people are, you know, young, and some people are even older, you know, and still figuring out what they want, and that's okay too. You're not, don't feel bad, but seriously, like, figure out what sparks you. What's your interest? What do you want to do? What's something that you've been dying to do? And are these people good in my life? Are the people that I'm surrounded with, are they good people? Should I take a break? Should I? There's so many questions, and I think really when you sit down to yourself with yourself, feel that boredom, feel that that weird tension in your body, and figure out where it's coming from. I think that's when you start like piecing things together. You know, and it's easy to say, but hard to do, right? But if you put the willpower in, I think over time it becomes easier. So yeah, just do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, like none of this stuff really exists. None of this stuff really matters. It's life, and like you can take it how serious as you want to take it, you know. But to truly live authentically to you is to really authentically just like be yourself, and also be who you inspire to be, not nobody else. So, yeah, that's all I had to say. Toodles.